Good morning students. In the last class we are discussing a new chapter called data structures. We discussed definition of the data structure, classifications of data structure, in that first primitive data structures and what are the primitive data structures and the related operations we discussed. In the next class we discussed operations on non-primitive data structure. Operations on non-primitive data structure. The same operations are performed on linear data structure. What are those operations? First one traversal, second one insertion, third one deletion, fourth one sorting, next one searching, another one is merging. So these are the different operations performed on non-primitive data structure or linear data structure or arrays. Or it is possible to ask as a one-dimensional array or single-dimensional array. Okay, today we will discuss the concept linear data structure. It is a non-primitive data structure. Why it is a non-primitive data structure? The data structure that are derived from the primitive data structures, hence it is called as non-primitive data structure, used to store both homogeneous and heterogeneous collection of data. Heterogeneous collection of data. But here the elements are stored sequentially in the memory, one after the other, hence it is called linear data structure. Linear means the data will be arranged in the memory sequentially. The data is arranged sequentially in the memory, hence these data structures are called linear data structure. The data structures that are arranged sequentially in the memory, one after the other, are called linear data structure. What are those linear data structures we are discussing? We are discussing here arrays, stack, queue and linked list. So first year concept, what we studied in the first year array, the same concept here also we are discussing once again, just the definition point of view and the syntax point of view. So array is a collection of homogeneous elements. Homogeneous elements are ordered collection of elements present in a single variable name. Each element of the array is accessed with the index or subscript. What is the index? Your square parenthesis called index. Index starts with 0 to n minus 1. In the memory, the first location of the array starts with 0 and ends with n minus 1. This is one of the YCOB question. What is the first subscript value in your array? What is the last subscript of your array? First subscript 0, last subscript n minus 1. What is the third element? Index minus 1. Always please remember third minus 1. 3 minus 1. It is stored in the second location in the array index A of 2. A of 2. Okay. What is the syntax of your array? Syntax followed by data type, array name followed by subscript. Within the subscript you need to give the size. So, what are the data types it is supported here? The data type supported here, it may be integer data type, it may be floating data type, it may be double, or it is possible with the character data type. What is the array name? Array name is identifier. What is the identifier? It is a meaningful name given to the variable to identify or programming element to identify. It is a meaningful name given to that to identify name of the array. What is this? These two called index or subscript. What is the size? Size is unsigned integer. Unsigned integer. So array is a fixed data structure. Array is a fixed memory representation. Fixed memory representation. What is a fixed memory representation? For example, then the size of the array is fixed for 5 locations. It doesn't matter how many elements you are going to enter. You need to enter between the given size. If you give more than that, you will get the error. So here I have taken int array of a of 5. This is a memory representation of your array. The first element 10 will be stored in the index card a of 0. Why it is a of 0? Array index starts with 0. Then the next element 20 will be stored in the location a of 1, 30 a of 2, then 40 a of 3, then 50 in the a of 4. It starts with 0 to n minus 1. What is the n? N is a 5 minus 1. That will gives you 4. 0 to n minus 1. We have given the elements location in the memory representation. This can store either in the column major order or in the row major representation. The one dimension doesn't matter about your whether it is going to be stored in the row major order or column major order. It is up to you how you are going to represent in your notes. But say two-dimensional array, it's compulsory to know that what is the representation of row major order and what is the representation of column major order. But here, if you arrange in the as a horizontally, then it is row major order. If you arrange the elements in the vertically, then it is a column major order. Then you should know one more thing here. What is the address of each location? Suppose if the address starts with 1000, then what is the next location? 1002. Why? Integer capacity is 2 bytes, hence the next location incremented 2 bytes. Then 04, 6, then 1008. So that is memory address. Once we know the base address of the location, this is called a base address. If we know the first array location, then there is not required to know the next sequential elements arranged in the memory. Once we know the first location, automatically the elements present in the list will be accessed by the CPU. Hence, array data structure will be executes very faster than your normal variable declaration. Normal variable declaration. Did you got it? What is an array? Array is a collection of homogeneous elements stored in a single name, or it is an ordered collection of elements. Ordered collection of elements. Why it is a homogeneous? It is a linear data structure. It will store only similar kind of elements. Similar kind of elements. Then each element of the array is accessed with subscript or index. Index starts with 0 to n minus 1. This is the syntax for your array. Data type, space, array name, within the subscript, size and terminated by semicolon. Data type may be any your basic data type. Array name is a identifier. It is a meaningful name given to identify the name of the array, and this angular brace is called index. Within that we have been defined one size. That size is defined with which data type? Unsigned integer data type. Unsigned int. Unsigned int. Why? It takes only positive value and it will not going to be take any fraction value. Memory is not divided into fractions. Then what are the types of array? Types of array. First one dimensional array. One dimensional array. Second one, two dimensional array. Two dimensional array. And the third one is your multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array. What is one-dimensional array? An array with only one subscript is called one-dimensional array. Then what is two-dimensional array? An array with two subscripts. An array with two subscripts, First one is for row size and the next one is for column size terminated by semicolon. So this is called two-dimensional array. So here we have been given the first subscript is for row size to be defined and second subscript is to be defined as a column size. Depending on that, the memory will be allocated A of 2, 3. What is the memory representation for 2, 3? 2 rows with the 3 columns. 2 rows with the 3 columns. The first index starts with A of 0, 0, A of 0, 1, A of 0, 2. The next one, next row, 1 and 0, 1 and 1, and 1 and 2. How many elements you need to give? 6 elements you need to give. If you give 6 elements, then those elements with respectively it is going to be stored 1 in the first location, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is your representation of your two-dimensional array. What is multi-dimensional array? An array with the multiple subscripts are called multi-dimensional array. Size 1, size 2 and size n. Sn means size n number of subscripts. An array with 2 or more subscripts, more than 2 subscripts, not 2. More than 2 subscripts are called multi-dimensional array. Example of multi-dimensional array: int A of 3, 3, 3. So this is going to be stored in one direction with a 3 rows with a 3 column. Then another direction, here also 3 rows with the 3 columns. Similarly, and one more direction with the 3 rows with the 3 columns. So that is a representation of your multi-dimensional array. Okay, so we'll discuss one-dimensional array. How to find the number of elements, that is the length of the array and the location of the array present in that. We'll discuss now, that is one-dimensional array representation. Second, this will continue. So here we need to apply 2 different formulas to find, one for length and another one is for to find the address of the given element position. So how to find the length of the array? Suppose this length of the array we don't know. Suppose if we don't know the length of the array, so how many elements are there? So what is the upper bound limit? So depending on that we need to calculate. What is the LB? LB stands for lower bound. LB stands for lower bound. UB stands for upper bound. UB stands for upper bound. So what is the upper bound here? The maximum value, the index value is 4. What is the UB? 0 plus 1. So the length of the given element, the given array is 5. So here you are going to get the problems like the lower bound starts with the LB equal to 5 and UB equal to 10. Find the length of the array. See here, remember it starts with 5. It starts with the 5. That means the location starts with 5. It's not starts with the 0. That time how you can find 10 minus 5 plus 1. 10 minus 5 plus 1. What do you get? 10 minus 5, 5 plus 1, 6. So A of 5, A of 6, A of 7, A of 8, A of 9 and A of 10. How many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did you got it? So they are going to give the problems like find the length of the given array LB equal to 5 and UB equal to 10. or any number, whatever the number it may be. So the formula is UP, upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. You will get the length of the array. Once they ask in the preparatory paper, so the given LB is 15 and the 17. So 5 and 17. What you are going to get? 17 minus 5, 12. 12 plus 1, 13 is the length of the array. 13 is the length of the array. That's just the formula you need to remember, or you may get the direct question for 1 mark. Give the formula to find the length of the array. So the length equal to UB minus LB plus 1 gives you the length of the array. Or if they give specifically value, then also apply the same formula to find the length of the given array. The next we'll move for the find the location of the that means find the address of the given location for the particular element. Suppose I need to find, I don't know the address of this, so I need to find the address of 3. That means I need to find the location of A of 3. A of 3. How to find the location of A of 3? See, just now I told, if we know the address of first array location, then it is easy to find the address of the elements which is present in the next elements. See, what is the base address? The first location address, what it will be there in the array name is called base address. Is called base address. The first location of the array is called base address. If you know the base address, then it is easy to find the any location of the element address. Any location of the element address. Then plus, what is the W? W is called word size. It is going to be varied depending on the data type what you are going to use. If it is a character, then the word size is 1. If it is int, then the word size is 2. If it is float, then the given word size is 4. If it is double, then the given word size is 8. It depending on that what kind of data type you are going to choose as an example. Did you got it? Or if they have been given as a float, then the word size is 4. If they have given int, then the word size is 2. Did you got it? Then what's about P? P called position what they asked to find the element. Here they ask the position as a 3. Then lower bound. Always the lower bound starts with the 0. Then apply the formula. So now I am finding the element of A of 3. What is the element of A of 3? 40th location. That means the element 40 address I need to find. Here base of A plus word size position minus lower bound. What is the base address of A? That is 1000. If you consider 2000, then the base address is 2000. Plus the given problem is of integer, hence the word size is 2 of 3. 3 means they ask 2 to find the location of 3, that is the position of 3 minus the lower bound 0. Always the lower bound begins with the 0. Suppose if they give lower bound specifically as a 5, then you should take this one as 5. So when they have not given anything as a lower bound, then the lower bound always starts with 0. Then 1000 plus 3 minus 0, 3. Then it is 1000. Then 1000 plus 2 into 3, it is 6. 1006. Location of A of 3 is equal to 1006. Did you got your 1006? Yes. We are finding the location of the element 40 or address. 40 address. Did you got it? So one more problem. Suppose if you want to find the address of 1. What is the address of 1? See here, 1 only here it is going to be changed. There is no change in the word size. Why? The word size, the given problem is integer. The given problem is integer. Then 2 into 1, 2. So that is 2. So you will get 102. So did you got A of 1? Did you understood? So it is the formula to find the location or address of the given position element. What is that? Location. What we are finding? Location or address of the given position. The given position. First we need to know that the base address, the first location array address plus word size, it is depending on the problem. If it is integer 2, float 4, double 8, character 1 bytes. Depending on that, you need to take the W value, P, which position they asked you to find, and always the lower bound starts with 0. If you know the formula, easily you can apply the address. So first you should know, you should give one particular address to the first location. Then only it is possible to find the other elements address. Okay students, in the next class we will continue operations performed on one-dimensional array. One-dimensional array. Thank you.